Surveys have several advantages. They can be used to investigate problems in realistic settings. You can investigate teaching strategies and teacher efficacy and student learning where it's actually happening rather than in a laboratory or a screening room in an artificial environment. The cost of surveys is reasonable when one considers the amount of information gathered. You can control the expenses by selecting from 5 major types of surveys: mail, telephone, personal interview, group administration, internet, and those will be addressed later in this course. A large amount of data can be collected with relative ease from a variety of people. Surveys allow researchers to examine many variables: attitudes, motivations, intentions, self-efficacy, attitudes, demographics, and lifestyle information that can influence their ability to effectively teach in the classroom, to implement a learning strategy, to have students show whether they've learned from a type of teaching method. Surveys are not constrained by geographic boundaries. They can be conducted almost anywhere. However, we do have some disadvantages. It's not a perfect research methodology. The most important disadvantage is that you don't manipulate the independent variable the same that you do in a true experimental or quasi-experimental design. You can assign a control variable or a treatment to respondents in a survey and do more of an experimental design, but there are restrictions for how that can be done in a survey system like Qualtrics. Inappropriate wording or placement of questions within a questionnaire can bias results. Questions have to be worded and organized ambiguously and to collect data that's desired. You also can't say for sure that a dependent variable is the cause or reason that something happens. Causality is very difficult to establish because the many intervening and extraneous variables are involved. Sometimes time series studies can help correct that problem, but you usually don't have that ability to do a longitudinal study during a master's thesis or a dissertation. The wrong respondents can be included in survey research. For example, telephone interviews, a survey respondent could claim to be 18 and 24 years old, but it may in fact be over 30 years old or may only be 16 years old. A mail survey or internet survey could be completed by a teenager when the target respondent is a parent of the household. So some survey research is becoming difficult to conduct because response rates continuously decline. This is especially true with telephone surveys, where answering machines, call blocking, caller ID, cell phones, various state and local regulations against calling people at home are affecting the response rate and who will participate in these studies. And despite these problems, surveys can produce reliable and useful information. It's especially useful for collecting information on audiences